They say some debts can never be repaid. But what happens when saving someone's life costs you your own freedom? This is the story of a woman who pulled a stranger from death's door and woke up trapped in his world. A world where mercy is weakness, where kindness is currency, and where falling in love might be the most dangerous choice of all. The city bus lurched through the midnight streets, nearly empty except for a young nurse heading home from a double shift. Her name doesn't matter yet. What matters is what she saw. A black car crashed into a concrete barrier on the overpass. Steam rising from the hood. No other vehicles stopping. Everyone just drove past. She pulled the cord, got off at the next stop, walked back alone. Inside the wreckage, a man slumped over the steering wheel, blood trickling from his temple, his breathing shallow. She wasn't supposed to be there, wasn't supposed to see this. But her hands moved on instinct, checking his pulse, tilting his head, clearing his airway. That's when she saw them. 4 men in dark suits, walking toward the crash with the slow, deliberate pace of people who aren't coming to help. They were coming to finish the job. She had maybe 30 seconds to decide. Run. Mind her own business. Go home to her quiet life. Or do what she was trained to do. Save a life. She wedged herself into the driver's side, braced his weight against her shoulder, and dragged him out through the passenger door. Her scrubs tore on the broken glass. Her muscles screamed. The men started running. She got him to the shadows beneath the overpass just as they reached the car. She pressed her hand over his mouth, her own heart hammering so loud she was certain they'd hear it. One of the men spoke into a phone. No body. Someone took him. They scattered, searching. She held perfectly still. His blood soaked through her sleeve. His eyes flickered open for just a moment, dark, unfocused, but somehow seeing her. Then he was out again. She waited until the men were gone. Then she made the second decision that would change everything. She didn't call an ambulance. She took him home. Have you ever helped a stranger in danger? What happened? Woke up on her couch 3 days later. She'd cleaned his wounds, set his dislocated shoulder, monitored his concussion, used everything she'd learned in 7 years of emergency room nursing. What she couldn't fix was the look in his eyes when they finally focused on her. Not gratitude, fear. Where am I? His voice was rough, damaged. Safe, she said simply. You're safe. He tried to sit up, winced, looked down at the bandages wrapped around his ribs. Who are you? Someone who couldn't drive past. He stared at her for a long moment. You shouldn't have stopped. Probably not. They'll come looking for me. I know. That's when she saw it. Not danger in his eyes anymore. Something else. Something that looked almost like wonder. Like he couldn't understand why she'd done it. He stayed on her couch for 2 weeks. She went to work, came home, changed his dressings, made simple meals they ate in silence. She didn't ask questions. He didn't offer answers. But slowly, something shifted. The way he watched her move through her tiny apartment, like every normal gesture was something foreign. The way he insisted on washing dishes one-handed when she tried to do them herself. The way he sat up straighter when she came home at night, as if he'd been waiting. One evening, she found him standing at her window, staring out at the street below. They're still looking, he said quietly. I know. You should be afraid of me. She set down her bag, looked at him, really looked at him, at the way he held himself away from her. The careful distance he maintained. The way he flinched when she came too close, not because he feared her, but because he feared himself. Are you going to hurt me? She asked. The question seemed to break something in him. No. Never. Then I'm not afraid. He turned from the window. Why did you save me? She'd been asking herself the same question for 14 days. Because everyone deserves a chance, she said finally. Even men who crash their cars running from someone. You don't know who I am. No. But I know who you were, lying in that wreckage. Just a man. Bleeding. Alone. She met his eyes. That was enough. That night, he told her his name. Not the name his men called him. Not the name whispered in fear across the city. His real name. The one his mother used. And she understood that was the gift. Not information. Trust. The knock came at 2 a.m. She woke to find him already standing, his body positioned between her bedroom door and whoever was outside. "Stay there," he whispered. "It's my apartment. Please." That single word carried more weight than any command. She stayed. She heard voices. Low, tense. His voice, different now, colder, sharper. The voice of whoever he was before she found him. When her door finally opened, he was alone. But his expression had changed. "I have to go," he said. Something in her chest tightened. "Where?" "Back." He wouldn't look at her. "They found me. If I don't go now, they'll come for you. Use you to get to me. I'm not afraid. You should be." Now he looked at her, and his eyes were harder. Distant. "You saved my life. That debt is paid. We're even. You go back to your life. I go back to mine." She stood. "What if I don't want to?" "Want to what?" "Go back. Pretend this didn't happen. Pretend I don't." She stopped herself. The silence stretched between them like a chasm. "Don't," he said quietly. "Don't say it. Don't feel it. I'm not someone you can save again. I wasn't trying to save you. I was trying to help you. It's the same thing." "It's not." She took a step closer. "Saving someone is about you. Helping someone is about them. What they need. What they choose." He shook his head. "You don't understand what you're asking for." "Then tell me." "I'm the man people cross the street to avoid," he said finally. "The name parents use to scare their kids into good behavior. I've done things I can't take back. Things that would make you look at me differently. Try me. I've hurt people. I've made choices that—" His jaw tightened. "I'm not good. I'm not redeemable. I'm the monster in the story." She took another step. "The monster doesn't usually set the dishes in the drying rack with all the forks facing the same direction. Or fold the blankets before I wake up. Or—" Her voice softened. "Or position himself between me and the door every single time there's a sound in the hallway." His composure cracked. That's basic." "That's care," she interrupted. "That's someone who thinks about someone else. Who wants to protect instead of harm." "You don't know me." "Maybe not. But I know the man who's been on my couch for 2 weeks. And that man, he's worth knowing." He stood there, frozen between two worlds. Then, so quietly she almost missed it. "Come with me." She blinked. "What?" "If I go back alone, they'll watch me. Test me. Make sure I'm still loyal." He swallowed hard. "But if I bring you, the woman who saved me, you become part of my world. Under my protection. They can't touch you without going through me. You're asking me to leave my life behind." "Yes. My job. My apartment. Everything normal. Yes. To enter a world I don't understand. With people who wanted you dead. Yes." He finally met her eyes. "I'm asking you to trust me. The way I trusted you when I woke up here. The way you trusted me not to hurt you." Would you go with him? Or run? Be honest. She had 30 seconds to choose. The old life. If predictable. Alone. Or him. Dangerous. Unknown. But something that felt more real than anything she'd touched in years. She grabbed her coat. "Let's go." The threat came 3 days later. She was in the library when Marcus appeared, his usual calm shattered. "You need to come with me. Now." "What's wrong?" "Someone knows. About you. About what you mean to him." Marcus grabbed her arm, not rough, but urgent. "They're coming. Today. Maybe within the hour." Her blood went cold. "Where is he?" "Handling it. But if they get to you first." Marcus didn't finish. He didn't need to. She ran. Through corridors she'd memorized. Downstairs. Toward the West Wing where she knew he'd be. She found him in his office, surrounded by maps and phones and men arguing in harsh voices. He looked up the moment she entered. Everything stopped. "Everyone out," he said quietly. "Boss, we need to." "Out." They left. The door closed. Silence. "You shouldn't be here," he said. "Neither should you," Marcus said. I know what Marcus said. He moved around the desk, closing the distance between them. "I'm handling it." "By doing what?" "Facing them alone. If that's what it takes." "No." Her voice was firm. "No, you don't get to save me by throwing yourself to them. That's not how this works. This isn't your decision." "Yes, it is." Her hands fisted in his shirt. "You brought me here. You asked me to trust you. To choose this world. But it's not a choice if you make it for me." He gripped her wrists, not pulling her away, but holding on. "I can't lose you." "Then don't push me away. If they take you, if they hurt you because of me, then we face it together." She pulled him closer. "That's what you do when you care about someone. You don't protect them by leaving. You protect them by standing beside them." Emotional crescendo. He looked at her for a long, searching moment. Then he made his choice. "All right. But you do exactly what I say. Exactly when I say it. No arguments." "Agreed." He kissed her then, hard and desperate and terrified. When they broke apart, his phone was ringing. The war had begun. The attack came at sunset. She'd been moved to a safe room, reinforced, hidden, protected by 3 of his best men. But she could hear it. The gunfire. The shouting. The sounds of violence that made her childhood nightmares seem gentle. One of the guards' radios crackled. "West Wing compromised. Fall back to." Static. The lights went out. Emergency reds clicked on, bathing everything in blood-colored light. "Stay behind us," the lead guard ordered. She nodded, her heart in her throat. The door exploded inward. What happened next was chaos. Bodies. Bullets. The guards fighting with everything they had. And then, silence. She was alone in the red-lit room with 3 men she didn't recognize. Men with cold eyes and colder smiles. "Well, well," one said. "The nurse. The woman who saved our dear friend's life." He stepped closer. He should have stayed dead. She backed against the wall. "He'll come for me. We're counting on it." That's when the window shattered. He came through like a storm, glass and fury and single-minded purpose. The fight was brutal. Efficient. Over in seconds that felt like hours. When the last man fell, he was standing over her, breathing hard, covered in cuts and worse. "Are you hurt?" he demanded. "No, you're bleeding." "Doesn't matter." He pulled her up, checked her over with frantic hands. "Did they touch you?" "Tell me they didn't." "They didn't. You came in time." Something in his expression crumbled. He pulled her against his chest, held her so tight she could barely breathe. "I thought I'd lost you," he whispered against her hair. "I thought—" "I'm here. I'm okay." They stayed like that for a moment, clinging to each other in a room full of broken things. Then he pulled back, cupped her face in his hands. "This is the world I live in," he said. "This violence. This danger. This is what I tried to protect you from. I know. And you still? Yes. She covered his hands with hers. Yes. Because this, right here, right now, this is real. You're real. What we have is real. She smiled despite everything. I didn't save you just to lose you to fear. He kissed her again. Softer this time. A promise. Then we do this together, he said. No more secrets. No more protecting you by pushing you away. Together, she agreed. 6 months later. The city looked different from his terrace now. She'd learned the names of the men who guarded them. Started teaching basic first aid to their team. Carved out a life in the space between his world and who she used to be. It wasn't the life she'd planned, but it was hers. He found her watching the sunset, like he did most evenings now. Thinking, he asked, sliding his arms around her waist from behind. Always. About how strange it is that saving your life meant finding my own. He pressed a kiss to her temple. You gave me more than life. You gave me a reason to live it. She turned in his arms. Was it worth it? All of this. Every single second. They stood there as the sun set, two people who'd found each other in darkness and chose to stay. The world outside was still dangerous. His past would never fully disappear. But they faced it together now. And that made all the difference. They say some debts can never be repaid. But maybe that's not the point. Maybe the point is finding someone worth being in debt to. Someone worth saving. Someone worth staying for. What would you sacrifice for love? Drop your thoughts below.